joining us today for this very important webinar. And to start with, let me wish you all a happy Akshaya Tritiya, and also to all our Muslim parents, wish Eid, happy Eid to all of them. And let me introduce myself. Myself, Jagdish. So basically, I'm responsible for business operation for Southern market. And today, along with me, I have Mrs. Smita Revello, who is responsible for the academic delivery for the Southern region. Right. Also, we have Mrs. Anjali, who joined us today. So I would request all the parents to do follow us on our various platforms, digital platforms, which is EuroKids International underscore official Facebook link, and also on our YouTube. Right. So can we proceed further? So, dear parents, today webinar is predominantly on understanding why EuroKids, preschool is so important, right? And we all represent India's leading early childhood preschool expert, EuroKids, which has more than 21 plus years of experience in early childhood education space. So we operate in 3 countries, over 1,200 plus preschools across this 3 countries, operate in 350 plus cities, and as on date we have touched base and made a difference in more than 5 lakh plus children over a period of 21 plus years, right? So next slide please, Anjali. So for all that great work that we have been doing in last 21 years, right? And we are the only brand who has been recognized with so many awards, right? In early childhood education space, right? So I mean, more than 40 plus awards, which EuroKids has been recognized, and also for the great curriculum that we have, which helps children to build and lay a great foundation for education in future, right? Next slide. Anjali, next slide, please, Anjali. Dear parents, it's very important, for us to understand why early childhood education is so important. As a parent, I'm sure that you all are looking for a great education journey for your child, and it's important for us to understand now why this age between 0 to 6 years is so important, right? And I would like to take you through a video which explains predominantly on why early childhood education is so important, right? And at the end of the video, then probably we will touch base what this video which encompasses of the various research that has been done over a period of so many years, right? In early childhood space, right? So Anjali, if you can play the video, please.
What is it that will make some of these babies thrive while others won't? What will make some of these toddlers go on to college and pursue rewarding careers or fulfill their professional aspirations, while others might have to settle for a lot less? Is it a matter of fate, money, intelligence? Is it luck, hard work, genetics? Is it a question of education? What happens in the first few years of life before formal schooling begins helps to lay the foundation for future success. What children experience even before they learn how to talk increases their chances of reaching their full potential and might be the key to creating better societies for everyone. And the secret lies in the most unsuspected place, our young brain.
If you're seeing, if you're hearing, if you're feeling, If you're deciding, if you're thinking, if you're reading, etc., this is your brain in action.
During our early years, the brain is optimized for learning and is capable of extraordinary change. No wonder a baby brain can create more than 1 million new neural connections every single second. They say practice makes perfect, and that is exactly what the brain does. Every time we learn or experience something new, it detects a change, and that change forms connections, which help build the foundation of a powerful brain. The connections that are not used repeatedly are lost. During the early years, when the brain is at its most active, is when the roadmap of our lives is first designed. Although change is possible as children grow, science is proving that getting it right from the beginning is the best opportunity we have to increase our chances of happiness and success.
Children are natural learning machines. They are born ready to learn. They already have learned some things, even in utero.
The first 3 years of life, I think, are the magical years for intervention, because the changes that we facilitate then can last for the rest of the child's life and of the parent's life, and create a new way of relating.
A really good, solid early childhood education foundation are more likely to continue their education when they leave high school. They're more likely to go to college. They are 4 times more likely to graduate from college. They are more likely to get highly skilled jobs that pay more. They are actually healthier as adults.
Because none of us can remember our lives before we were 2 or 3 or 4, depending on when your first memory is, it's easy to think that there's nothing happening in there. The idea that we would think about learning as something that doesn't happen until you're 5 or 6 just doesn't make sense scientifically.
And so kindergarten prep begins in the crib, begins at birth, begins with the parents' knowledge of what their contribution is going to be to the baby's brain development. Because a brain has to be built. It comes ready to learn, but it's not built yet.
While some of these children may thrive and others might not, we now know that the experiences they are exposed to and the skills they acquire early on truly matter for the brain's development. The early years are an unrepeatable opportunity to improve their chances of happiness and success, and the best way to help them fulfill their dreams, whatever they may be.
Dear parents, you know, they say that, learning starts from by birth, right? And brain comes, ready to learn, right? But not built yet, right? And that's what the opportunity that we as a parent has to give it to our young ones, right? An opportunity for the right education, because 90% of the brain development happens below 6 years, right? And the children who get a right atmosphere, which offers a structured and a scientific learning childhood education, right, benefits in so many advantages, right? So better language development, improved social skills, fewer behavioral problems is what a child would go through. Discipline issues have been addressed. Attention span is enhanced when they get a right platform, and their social interaction, right, increases with the right approach of education provided at this age, right? And every child would achieve all the required developmental milestones, age appropriate developmental milestones, right? And once we give this kind of opportunity to a child, so they are more likely to graduate 4 times more graduate with a higher grades, right? and also end up getting a highly skilled jobs. This is what a research over a period of years together has been exhibited, right? Now we as a parent, right, it's a time that we invest in a child now and give them a right place or right a system or a school which provides them a structure and the scientific early childhood education. Okay, next slide, please, Anjali. Now, as a parents, now we have two options, right? Whether I choose a preschool, Kids preschool, or I have an option of choosing a mainstream school, right? So these are the two options which most of the parents would have, right? So we want to enlighten, and spend some time in understanding why your child would require a preschool, Kids preschool over a mainstream school, right? Next slide, please. Kids preschool empowers, right, every child to share, collaborate, and build relationship in an enriching environment, because we operate in a very small batches, right? So that we have great attention which has been guided to each and every child, and we maintain 1:10 teacher-child ratio, wherein attention can be given more to every child. Whereas if you see in a mainstream school, the ratio would be beyond 25, 30, right? For every 30 children, there would be one teacher, right? Which hence reduces opportunity of guided attention, right? And also with the smaller size groups, every child would get an opportunity to interact more with its peers, right? So that's why we request you to consider Kids preschool, over a mainstream school, right? Up to 6 years, it's very important. The child will get a school like Kids preschool. Next slide, please. So every Kids preschool as a age-appropriate infrastructure, right? And educational toys which are needed. Again, I'm saying it's age-appropriate educational toys is what every Kids preschool offers to every child, who comes to learn at Kids preschool. Right? Whereas if you see a mainstream schools, predominantly it has been operated keeping in mind your primary or secondary students, right? So maybe child of a age between 2 to 6 may not get a kind of ambience that a child would require, right? Maybe equipments or toys a child would get, which enhances or motivate them to explore in terms of learning, right? So it's very important that you choose a Kids preschool, compared to a mainstream school. Next slide, please. Structure peer interaction with mindful learning and skill-based evaluation, right? So when you see a mainstream school, they are basically content-based atmosphere, right? Exams and which of practices rote learning approach, right? Which is more of a result driven, right? But Kids preschool helps or gives an opportunity to a child where the child's develops holistically, and also not only um, on only a curriculum based or mentally development, but it also gives an opportunity so that there's a lot of learning mindfully, and also child get prepared, right, with various skills which helps child to face rest of his journey of life. Next slide, please. The appearance, as I mentioned, holistic development, right, for the student is what Kids preschools offer, right? Also, which helps in terms of social, emotional, life skills and mindful learning and not only concentrating on physical development and academics, but overall 360 development is what uh, preschool like EuroKids offer to the child, right? So we predominantly not focus only on academic development, right, which a mainstream schools focuses on, right? But for a child at that age would require beyond physical, beyond academics, right? Mentally, physically, and emotionally, right? Socially. So these all factors are which are very, very important for the child should get opportunity to explore all this, right? Next slide, please. So a great curriculum which helps the child, child-friendly ambience and personalized attention, help every child develop in all aspects and make the transition of the child and prepared for the main school, right, when they go to a grade one, right? So it's important that your child gets a friendly ambience, which offers exploration and engagement based learning, which has a good quality, qualified and intensively trained staff who can deliver or execute a great curriculum that we offer, right? And a place which takes care of all the safety protocols, right? Because as a parent, safety is the highest priority, right? So we need to ensure that you'll see in EuroKids that a school is 360-degree safely compliance, right? And we offer 1:10 teacher-child ratio, and the great advantage of intercity or intra-city student transfer facility, right? Since so many parents who are into transferable jobs, right? So from A city to B city, since we have a great network of more than 1,200 plus preschools, a child get an opportunity to move from A to B city and still continue their education in EuroKids. The great is the same philosophy, same atmosphere is what a child would get, right, when you move to a different city. Next slide, please. So as I mentioned some time back, safety is the most important criteria a parent considers, right, when it comes to education or enrolling their child in a school, right? And we are happy to inform you all that yes, all our EuroKids preschools, have a CCTV surveillance, and we do constantly monitor, right, to ensure that the school operates in a best possible manner. Our staffs, are verified and trained, and we also do a background verification of every employee who works at EuroKids preschool. Okay. We strictly adhere to the safety regulations, laid by all the educational ministry, right? And also by ICMR and WHO. So all the guidelines are being implemented in all the EuroKids across India. Okay. We undertake a regular drills and for emergency preparedness and crisis management. It's important that the adults who work in a EuroKids preschool and also children who study in EuroKids preschool, go through the emergency preparedness drills, right? In unforeseen situation, everyone is aware, how to face a given situation, right? So this continuous drills which are being practiced in all the EuroKids preschool across India. As I mentioned, every school undergoes a 360-degree safety certification and regular safety inspections, which we do on a periodic basis to ensure that, my school, the space that we offer to your child is the most safe place. We ensure a regular sterilization of all the toys, the entire infrastructure, the classrooms, and play area on a regular basis. Okay, so this points, encourages to say that yes, Eurokids preschool are the safest school, for your child. Right? Next slide, please. Now, I would request my colleague, Mrs. Smita, to take you through the great curriculum that we have to offer to your child. Over to you, Smita. Yeah.
Thank you. Good evening, parents. Let me take you through the curriculum that we follow here at EuroKids. It is sometimes very important how we teach the child rather than what we teach the child. At EuroKids, we have eunoia as a curriculum. Eunoia is the smallest Greek word. It means beautiful mind. It is very important to develop the children with a beautiful mind at a young age. That is why eunoia here at EuroKids. So our curriculum focuses mainly on a well mind, a fit body, and a beautiful soul. It is very important for children to learn this at a very young age. There are 3 domains of eunoia as a curriculum. The first one being the cognitive domain, which focuses on the mental, that is the acquisition of knowledge, the IQ that most of the world's curriculum focus on. But apart from that, we also focus on being affective domain, that is the development of the emotional quotient, that is the EQ, how the child feels, what is its strength, what are his weaknesses. And then we also focus on the psychomotor domain, which is the physical health of the child. You know, the physical health and the mental health has a very strong interrelationship. So it's very important for the child to think well and then his body also to eat well. So this relationship helps the child develop good skills in him, not only for today, but for the future as well. Can we move to the next slide, please? So this is our journey into a holistic development. When we say a holistic development, we ensure the 3 domains that I just mentioned, we cover all of it. So we have the mind. Under mind, we have euphonics, math lab, and scientific spark. Under the body, we cover the Eurofit and yoga kids. And under mind, soul, we have mindful plus and Euro music. I will be taking you through each of these topics in the coming slides. Let's first get to know what is euphonics. So developing the habit of reading in young children is very, very important. The younger the child, the faster the reading space. I think we just got to see that in the video as well, what we just saw before the slide. So how does a child read? We don't expect the child to rote learn or memorize the spelling or word and start reading here at EuroKids. We rather follow euphonics method of teaching. So we teach the child through listening to the different sounds of the letters. So here it is very, very important for the child to decode the word through the sound that they learn, each word having a different sound, rather than memorizing the whole word. So when the child knows the sound of the letters, the faster the child can read and will not need help of any of the adult to break the word. So this, henceforth, it becomes easier for the child to then to know the sound of the letters and apply it rather than whole word reading, which is more of a rote learning method. So here we follow the sounds of the letters, which is called the euphonics program at EuroKids. I will give you an understanding of what we do here at Math Lab. So math, we all know, is a very important subject. We have all learned it in our school days as well. So teaching children the mathematical skills when they are very young is important. So at EuroKids, we follow the Math Lab method, where we give the child to visualize, to channelize, to manipulate the numbers, which are so abstract. So we follow the concrete to abstract method. We do not expect the child to rote learn again, like phonics. We don't expect them to rote learn even in math, like to say numbers from 1 to 10. But what we teach the child here at EuroKids is the value for the numbers. So we teach them through one-to-one correspondence. We teach them through problem solving, logical thinking skills. We give them a place value kit that we have here. Place value meaning UTH kit, wherein they learn using the units, tens and hundreds. And they actually touch, feel, visualize the numbers, manipulate by themselves, and this is how they learn. So it's very important for the child to develop his foundation through maths, through the math lab method we have here at EuroKids, because the more he understands the numbers, the faster he will learn. Scientific spark. We have young scientists here at EuroKids. So another very important aspect of developing the cognitive domain is the scientific thinking of our child. So at EuroKids, we call it the scientific spark. So it is very important for us to develop the scientific thinking in children at a very young age. So it's very important that the child has an open mind, understand that there are many answers to one question. We don't give them the answers. We ask them the question. We want them to come up with the answers. The child needs to perform an experiment. For example, if we give a child an apple, we want the child to actually taste the apple, touch the apple, see the apple, feel it, see the color of it, rather than we giving them an answer. They need to find the answer for it, evaluate their own findings, and then come to a conclusion and give their answer. So this helps them develop their observation skills. They're able to predict, they're investigating what it is, which is very, very important for them to apply the learned knowledge as well. So this is scientific spark for you at EuroKids. We have EuroFit. It's very important for the child to be physically active. So an active body definitely has an active mind as well. At EuroKids, we have EuroFit. So it is a fitness program designed for children especially. So we are tied up with a company called Health Set Go. That is an ISO company. So they have designed sessions for our children where the motor skills are developed, where there is a body strength development, and the mind to muscle connection that also happens through the EuroFit sessions. Next, we move on to yoga kit. So when I talk about the psychomotor domain, which I mentioned, there are 3 domains. We also have yoga kits that helps children develop themselves. So yoga helps the children to be aware of themselves, their breath. We get them to do deep breathing, breathe in, breathe out. They get aware of their body, meditation, and this helps them to be calm. So yoga is something which has been designed at EuroKids, where children can at a very, very young age get used to taking care of their body, be aware of what their body is saying, and also this helps them in calming down. When the children are angry, anxious, just helping them calm down, getting them to breathe a couple of times will calm their mind. Next, we move on to Euro music. This is a very exciting session for our children, which they enjoy the most. So the Euro music session at EuroKids helps the child to develop their emotional quotient. We spoke about EQ. So develop their emotional quotient. These sessions are designed with a lot of engaging songs, music videos, and picture books. So these skills, when practiced well, help in developing the social emotional skills in the child. And definitely they also develop language. The happier the children are, they learn to self-regulate skills while they are singing and playing. We move on to mindful plus activities. The UNOYA curriculum specially focuses on developing mindfulness for the children. So children are mindful of what they are doing, and mindfulness helps the children to be in the present rather than in the past or thinking of what is going to happen in the future. So we have simple activities for them. This helps the children also to focus more on what they are currently doing in the class. These sessions help them to improve their concentration, develop their self-regulation skills. They become much calmer, which is the immediate effect of mindful plus classes that we see. And the long term is they become more healthier and happier human beings. These tools, when learned at a young age and practiced during the school, definitely makes our children much more happier when they grow up. Let's understand a day at EuroKids, what your child is going to be spending, how many hours at our school, and what a day would look for at your child. So we start off the day with a welcome time. So we have different welcome time activities every day for our children. So one day the teacher can welcome your children, just giving them a high five, or you will have a hand puppet that is welcoming the child into class, or it could be the theme for the day, a color or a shape that is welcoming the child. So every day, the child will be welcomed into our school with a very different welcome time. Then we move on to our learning corners. Learning corners is where we have 4 corners in the class. It's a settling down period for the child, a transition from home to school wherein the child settles down, picks up an activity, settles down for about 20 minutes, and we ensure the child uses all the 4 corners where we're keeping different kinds of toys for different developments, a creative expression or readiness corner. The child plays with that for 20 minutes, settles down before we start the day's activity. After the learning corners, we move on to the attendance time. In the attendance time, I'm sure all of us during our time, we have had the roll numbers called, and then we would say present ma'am or the name called. Here at EuroKids, our attendance time is a very interactive session wherein the teacher would ask the child a question. It can be, what did the child have for breakfast today? Or how did you come to school? So we expect the child to answer those questions. Here, the language development is happening, the interaction is happening, and this is how the attendance time is marked. Then we move on to scientific thinking, which we have already gone through what the child would learn. And we have a snack time. Snack time is a very interactive time, mainly because the children learn to be independent. They learn the basic etiquettes. Children learn to open the napkins by themselves, open the box. The teachers are guided to get a small box, and they also eat with the child. So we guide them to close your mouth and chew your food. So the basic etiquettes are also taught during the snack time. After which we move on to either a music and movement, a circle time, a wow or a readiness activity, followed by a math time or a language and literacy. Then we have mindful plus activity or a peer interaction or a reading time or a story time. Then we move on to either a Eurofit, Euro music, outdoor play, or Euro kids, yoga kids. And then before we send the children off, we have something called as a reflection time. Reflection time is where we take the children through the entire day's activity, right from the time who welcomed you into class today, what was the question we asked you during the attendance time, what is the topic we had in the scientific thinking. So we basically take the children to the entire day's activity before we send them home. So this is how a day for your child would be with us at EuroKids. This is the duration that we follow for the playgroup and nursery class, which would be for 3 hours. And we have a lot of active and passive activities. So this is how we have the flow for 3 hours for the playgroup and nursery. And for the EJ and ES, it is for a 4-hour duration. So this is the duration for playgroup nursery, 3 hours. EJ and ES would be for 4 hours. We have a few exciting new programs each day. We have time for reading, where children are actually reading. You might think, what are the children at a play group or nursery class reading? Even reading or looking at pictures is called picture reading. So children are spending time with their peers in the classroom, where they are reading, they are interacting with their classmates, with their peers, with the teacher, asking questions, answering questions. So we have time for reading. We have peer interaction, which develops their social and emotional skills. We also have sustainable development goals. We have 6 goals for the early years, which we follow. I think we are the only school that follows the developmental goals for at a preschool. And we have something called as be safe. So we teach the children to be safe with the surroundings around them, not to talk to strangers, respect your elders. So we follow the be safe also, which we teach children right from playgroup to the ES classes. So this is a happiness in a box that we call. So when a child takes an admission with us, we give them a happiness kit. So what does the kit comprise of? We have a welcome kit. So this is to introduce to children the world of fun through a lot of activities. And then we have a readiness kit. This is for the skill development, your hand to eye coordination, your creativity. All this readiness kit is given to you. We have a takeaway at school. There are a couple of things that are done at school and also a couple of things that are done at home, which will be shared with you. And we have different themes that we follow. So there are 4 theme kits that we have. We will give it to you as and when we complete those themes. So this is what you would receive in happiness in a box, happiness kit. This is the welcome kit essential. So what you will be receiving is the books for your children, which would consist of your workbooks, your alphabet books. You would also receive an achievement card with the medals and certificate. T-shirts, children would wear T-shirts at the playgroup and nursery level, and for the EJ and ES, uniforms and the school bag. There are portfolios where children express their creativity or their thoughts through the portfolio worksheets. We have the vocabulary, which is the word of the week. Every week we introduce a new word to a child. So for different classes, it's given in a different manner. For some, it is a sticker, it is a pencil or a card. So that you would receive, and also honor badges. This is telling the child that I am patient or I am confident. They would receive one every month. So this is the welcome kit essentials. Jagdish will take us to the multiple shift options.
Yeah, thank you. Dear parents, convenience is one factor, right? As a parents, we always look forward, right? And since we work in a different time zones when it comes to our jobs, right? So to just address that concern of a parent, yes, all EuroKids preschools operate different shifts, right? And next slide, please. Yeah. So these are the shifts, parents, which we offer, and our first shift starts at 8:30 in the morning for PG and nursery till 11:30, and the second batch starts at 11:30 or 12 till 2:30 to 3. And in some cities and some school alone, we have now introduced a third shifts which operates from 3:30 to 6:30, right? And for kindergarten student, so we operate 2 shifts now. 8 to 12 is first shift, and 12:30 to 4:30 is the second shifts, right? So this opportunity is what you as a parent can also take when it comes to your requirement, and we as a EuroKids preschool have a solution for such concern, right? Next slide, please. Yes, Smita.
Thank you. Engagement beyond the classroom. Your children are with us for about 3 to 4 hours a day. Apart from that, they spend almost 80% time with you. So we have an app, a very constructive, engaging app. So this app you would have access to. So children will be actually reiterating of whatever topics are done in the school. For you to get an understanding, we have a video that will be played. You will know what the Home Buddy app is. you. So this is what you would have access to our high quality Home Buddy app. So what are the features we have? We have physical development, the Eurofit and Yoga Kids. You have access to that. You can read along stories with the children on the app. You have do-it-yourself activities. You have audio visuals that the children can see. There are worksheets, whatever is done in the school. You would have access to see what the child has done in the school. We have fun zone activities. If the child has learned shapes at school, you have fun zone activities wherein same thing the child will be doing at home using their phones to match the shape or the colors or alphabets. They have interactive games. We also have recorded sessions. In case a child is absent on some day, the child can always go through those recorded sessions. We have a parent corner where you can give your feedback. We have Euro Music and Mindful Plus. So these are some of the high quality access that you would have on the Home Buddy app.
Yeah, dear parents, as Smita mentioned some time back, right? So we do operate 4 programs: playgroup, nursery, Euro Junior, Euro Senior, right? So we take enrollment, for a playgroup between a child who is between 2 to 3 years, right? And for nursery, it's between 3 to 4, and Euro Junior 4 to 5 and 5 to 6. Okay. This age criteria is what has been in alignment with the new NEP, which is going to be implemented, in future. So now we have started in lining with ourselves, with that criteria. All right. So playgroup basically, offers a lot of, opportunity for the child in terms of discovering and exploring, right? So also gives an opportunity to a child wherein, it can develop its language, right? New age skills and shaping a scientific mindset. And this is what the core that playgroup, program offers to the child, right? Whereas when the child moves to a nursery, it's more of interaction, right? When the child is in nursery program in the age of 3 to 4, so it enhances more of interaction, creativity, and improving imaginations, right? Through art and music, which is a part of our curriculum, right? As Smita took you through our Euro music session, right? And kindergarten, which is Euro Junior, okay, 4 to 5 years, and it's more of a age appropriate learning, which we say that formal education starts by this age, right? And that's what it has more age appropriate learning and educational tools, suited to the individual pace, right? So that's how this curriculum at this age been curated and offered to the child. Euro Senior, vocabulary, attention span, reading and writing skills, with innovative methods and preparing for the primary. Objective is to that child should get prepared for a primary, right? So the curriculum designed for a Euro Senior is keeping in mind all the requirements as I mentioned now, right? And that's what it offers and encourages a child to prepare itself, right, for the standard one. Next slide, please. Summer Club has, in already West and South region, summer holidays are on, and all EuroKids preschools are operating a summer club, right? And for North and East, I think May and June is where you have summer break. So all the schools in North and East also offers and operates a summer club, right? So I would request parent also to take this opportunity, a 21-day program, right? Is what is been offered. Is age appropriate again. So 2 to 4 years and 4 to 6 years are the 2 batches that we operate, right? And this also enables child, with fun and a lot of learning outcomes, right? And also helps the child to settle, right? So if the session is not begin it, for example, West and South, our session would start in June, right? So having making a child part of this summer club would give a child opportunity to get used to the school, get to used to the people who are there in the school, and that's how the transition, of settlement happens for the child, right? So summer clubs are offered. So please reach out to the school and probably you can take opportunity of this. Next slide, please. And also, this is one main consideration for the parent, right? After Euro Senior, what next, right? So continuity is something which is important, and we as Euro kids also operate our K-12 schools, right? We have brand Euro schools which we operates in place like Bangalore, Hyderabad, Pune, Mumbai, right, Ahmedabad, and all. Also, we operate a K-12 brand in the name of Billabong High is another brand of ours, right? And Cambridge Centerpoint schools in Nagpur, right? So we do have our own schools to address this continuity factor. Apart from this, also EuroKids have a formal tie-up with most of the schools in a given region or area, right? And the school would be more than happy to inform which all the schools are associated with EuroKids, wherein your child can get an opportunity, to continue its primary, from standard one in those schools. Next slide, please. Yes, parent. Time now because it's very important that we need to take a decision, right? And it's the right time now, right? And for enrolling with EuroKids, this is what a parent has to submit, which is the admission form and documentation. And we would also conduct an orientation program to all the parents before we commence our session. And the same time, we would hand over the happiness kit, which Smita took you all through, right? And yes, as I mentioned, April, wherein North and East, the batches have already started. I mean, session has already started, right? June is where our West and South markets operate, right? So if still you are not um, decided or not uh, taken a call to enroll, then it's important that you reach out to the school and ensure that you give this great opportunity for your child. As I mentioned at the beginning, it's a time to invest now, right? Give the 6 great years for your child, wherein and trust us and be rest assured that being expert in this space, we would ensure that your child would get a great foundation, right? Wherein he can explore rest of his educational journey, right? Next slide, please. Every Saturday we do conduct open house, sessions to all the parents who wants to still clarify their doubts or who wants to experience EuroKids preschool. Then Saturday is a time wherein we conduct sessions, especially for the new parents and the children, right? 1 hour 45 minutes for playgroup nursery and 2 hours for Euro Junior and Euro Senior, wherein you get to know what is that we are talking about, or what is that EuroKids has to offer, right, for your child. So you can experience that and also get all your concerns, queries addressed, right, with the school. Next slide, please. So that's it, parents, which we wanted you to understand why it's so important for you to look for a EuroKids preschool, right? Since no other brand or a school can offer the way EuroKids operate its preschools, right? So now we would be open enough to address all the queries. So request you to key in your queries or questions in a Q&A box, and me and Smita will try to answer those questions. Yeah. So you can just use that Q&A box and